am just lying down right now. I been working all day and night as usual. Probably won't be here all that long. I was about to get my tripod and sit up at a different location, but I was like, well, I'm just going to give it an attempt. Now, I know this is kind of strange, but there's a very popular YouTube channel here where, and I'm not picking on anybody, but I just found it a little different that people actually stream overnight watching this person sleep. Now, again, I'm not going to judge people. That's not my job. But to me, I mean, I was there for a minute and I was just kind of like trying to figure out. I mean, I was there for actually probably, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. And I just kept thinking to myself, what is going on here? Why are people watching this? And I had to leave only because literally people were going in the chat client. Some were even commenting to a person that was completely asleep. And I'm thinking, why is this person having themselves be watched while they sleep? Now, to some extent, I get it. It's different, but, honestly, it's not the first person that's ever done. He's not the first person that's ever done something like that. There used to be a person, I believe, in the early 2000s. I can't remember her name, but it was like I Justine or something. I don't remember the exact name, but they actually kept a camera, I think, a camera on their self 24/7. And it was not on YouTube. It was on a private server, I believe, because when I say everything, from what I understand, it was everything. And I don't get it, but that person, I don't know if it was the person I mentioned, but whoever it was, they, for a while, was earning a whole lot of income. Now, again, I don't know much about it, but at any rate, yeah, this is odd for me, but there is one side benefit that I don't know how y'all feel, but I'm going to get my Chihuahua, Coco Courageous. Wait a minute, let me say hi real quick. Hello to, oh boy, I want to get these names right. I know I don't really want you to see that background back there, but it's kind of hard not to do. Let me see, wait a minute. I know you can see my bald head. I'm trying to read this. It looks like, it's an orange monk, and we got, oh goodness. I don't want to butcher your own name, so here's what I'm going to say. Hello to all of you. I do not need to be cutting up and making mistakes on your name. That is not going to happen. Okay? So I'm going to eventually see if I can find a way to save the chats and somehow find a way. I'm not sure how to do that. Y'all might know how. If you do, you can explain it. But I do want to say hi to all of you. I'll get to it. I don't want to keep having my comb over or my forehead in your face, but I want you to say hi to Coco Courageous. Here he is. He's a little bit mad. I just woke him up. There he is. You can see he's not too pleased. He looks kind of vicious, right? He, he's not. Now, if you try to hurt me, his dad and his mother, y'all might have a problem. Be like a little chihuahua, please. Yeah. Let me ask you this. Might be a little chihuahua. Do you still want bit? I know I don't. So actually, guys and gals, here's the deal. Let me look and see who's here. Okay. Hunter. Let's see. Orange Monk. Give me a minute, guys. I would like to block out the camera screen so you don't have to see this, but unfortunately, when you're on a cell phone, you know what I mean? It looks like Asta. Okay, Asta. I won't say the second part because all the glory goes to the Lord God for me, but thanks for coming on in. So let's get down to the business at hand over here. I was over here thinking and relaxing, thinking about our lives, like it says. Now, I would like to hear how y'all feel about things in your life. For those of you who come in, those of you who are here, I want this to be interactive, you know? Now, I'm going to share some things with you. Now, in America, in about 2.5 weeks or so, we're going to have a very serious election. Don't worry if you think it's all politics. It's not. It's not. I'd like to say hello to everybody came in. Again, I need to get some technical things worked out. Once I can actually, maybe copy the chat somehow, I will eventually be able to answer people better. But let me get back to this. Now, right now, we have an election in November, on November the 5th, in the United States. And I'm going to mention the election, but not in the same way you may think. My thoughts are, depending on who you plan on voting for, if you're over the age of 18. The question is, what happens if it's the person you don't want to win? Here's the other question. What if the person who wins is not who they claim to be? What if the person who wins is as bad as some people say? Now, theoretically, there's some really bad stuff that could come down the line. It could change all of our lives in an extremely bad way. But here's the deal. I'm the guy that's Mr. Positive. I'm going to throw some things at you about you that you may not know. You have the power to change not only the United States of America, you actually have the power to change wherever you are living. It doesn't matter if you're in a communist country, Marxist, fascist, capitalist, wherever you are, even if you are what they call oppressed. See, you have more power than any government on the face of the earth, guys and gals. And none of you may have ever thought about that, or you may think about it every day. Let me throw something at you. Do you know that I have openly on live television? Yes, I was on live television for 19 years. Yeah, no joke. I said on live TV, I used to say, if you ain't doing right, get ready to say goodnight. Sounds like a threat, right? Well, it is and it isn't. It is something that sounds like a threat, but not when you back it up, not when you actually act on it. Now, my disclaimer and the way I live my life, I would say, if you ain't doing right, get ready to say goodnight. And then I would explain. I mean, spiritually, financially, morally, legally, and peacefully. Now, here's the deal. With regards to financially, what did I actually mean? Am I a super wealthy guy? I think we all know that that's not the case. Not yet. Actually, I am. I just haven't gotten there in my life yet. I'm not at that part of the movie yet. But this is why you need to pay attention for yourself. You see, I was dealing with Verizon Fios. I found out that what they were charging me per month was like $250 some for very little, really very little service. So I called them up. This is a few years ago. I said, look, you are charging me about $250 a month. And when we take in the taxes and fees, it's closer to $300 a month. So I took out my calculator to make sure I was accurate. They wanted about between $3,000 to close to $3,600 or more a year. Verizon was charging me over $3,000 a year. Now, I would advise everybody on this live or on the rebroadcast. Here's what I want you to do. I'm going to ask you to do some homework. I want you to take a look at each and every one of your individual bills that either you pay, your parents pay, or somebody else pays. I want you to look at your wireless bills, if you have utilities. I don't care what it is. I want you to add up how much you pay per month. Yeah, that's right, a month. Then I want you to get out your calculator app on your phone or any device you may have, or outright old school calculator, although I don't know how many of those are out there. Why do you need them when you have it on the phone or, computer or a tablet or a laptop or a notebook or whatever? You don't really need it. So get out your calculators after you know exactly what you're averaging per month. Now, the fact that the taxes and fees, they fluctuate. But let's just say, hypothetically, you're paying $80 a month. Well, do that times 12. Now, I was paying almost $3,000 for Verizon. So here's what I did. Called them up, said, look, we need to make a change. And they told me for what I had, which wasn't much, they said that was the lowest they could charge me. They said that was their policy, that was the best deal. So I informed them that I have a policy too. And it's called I Don't Overpay. My policy is I don't get cheated. I don't get ripped off. And so either we're going to help me or you're gone. I will stop the service. That's what I told Verizon. I stopped the service because they thought they owned their customers. They were arrogant. They thought, oh, well, you only have a few choices. And no. So I want you to be fully aware of what that actually means. This company was getting at least for probably about 8 years, at least, because I didn't check out my annual cost. For about 8 years, they were getting anywhere from, because remember, it wasn't as high initially. They tried those promotional jazz on you and what have you. I mean, those promotional things. So here's the deal on that. But over the years, myself and my girlfriend gave them close to at least $8,000 to $10,000. And I wasn't paying attention. I was going by month, by month, by month. Going to give you some very important information here. Do not look at your monthly bill and say, well, it's only $50. It's only $150, whatever it is. I want you to go, take the time tonight, tomorrow, whatever, but do it. Assign yourself this mission. Find out what you're paying per month on everything you do. That's right. Electric, whatever it may be. All your streaming, like for Netflix or Hulu, whatever it is, add everything up individually. And then, once you know, you'll have some decisions to make. What if, for example, let's just hypothesize you have Verizon like I did. How much are you paying a year? And then ask yourself, If you weren't paying all that, what could you do with some of that money? Let me give you a news flash. Now, I'm about to tell you something that may really shock you. You might be able to become a millionaire by saving that money. Now, y'all think this is hype, probably. Talking about who's this heavyset guy with 15 chins laying on this sofa? Who's he think he is? He trying to come up talking about I might be a millionaire. You might. For the record, I'm Al Torcaso. 412-559-2731, my personal texting number. I don't hide from anybody. I don't come on YouTube, tell a bunch of lies, and then hide behind 50,000 assistants. I'm the real deal, like the former boxer Evander Holyfield. Yeah, 412-559-2731 is my texting number. That's right, the real deal to this phone. Now, let me throw down some stuff. There, right here on YouTube, is a gentleman named David Bach, B-A-C-H. He has a book called The Automatic Millionaire. Let me explain how quitting some of your streaming can help you to become a millionaire. Now, I know a lot of you are going to be like, what? Well, I'm for real. Here's how it works. You take a portion of that money and then you start investing that money in stocks, bonds, real estate, whatever it is. Now, it could be a little bit of money, like 5, 10, 15, whatever, or it could be a percentage. But if you do it automatically and you act as if that money is no longer there, you don't have any access to it, and it's just automatically put in there from maybe every time you get paid or whatever. Here's what happened. This gentleman did basically research, and he found that people who automatically had their investments or whatever they chose done automatically and lived within that budget more than probably at least 80 to maybe even 100% became millionaires. That's right. And they did it automatically. Now, here's the fantastic news. You could be working minimum wage, taking a portion of your weekly pay or bi-weekly, whatever it is, take a portion of that and invest it every time automatically. Now, over the years, that money will add up. Now, if you will get the book, or you may be able to watch it here on YouTube, but if you actually get the book and the most updated book, you can learn these things and it can change your life. Now, let me get back to what I was saying. I got rid of Verizon. I'm not paying $3,600 a year. I'm paying, right now, they get a zero from that deal. $0. That's what I mean by if you ain't doing right, get ready to say goodnight. What that really means is if you are cheating someone or you're cheating me financially, I'm going to stop getting your service or products. If you're abusing me, I'm going to take legal action, or whatever. I would like to impress upon everybody that ever watches this, you don't have to accept it. But let me get back to how this relates to our presidential election next month in the United States of America, November the 5th. If you're over 18 and you don't vote, you might be very angry with yourself in the future because your life is going to be affected whether you vote or you don't, and they are going to control your life. That's right. Government controls our lives, guys. in America and everywhere, really. So let me throw something at you. Let's just say the worst of the worst happened. Let's just even say, hypothetically, we all lost our freedom and we had a dictatorship. How can we stop that dictatorship without violence? You might be thinking, well, we can't. Look at China. Now, there is where a lot of people don't realize they could. The Chinese people, if they wanted to, they could. Any country could. And we could too. And I have absolute proof that you're going to even probably say, you know what, he ain't wrong. Think about what did COVID do to the economies of the face of the earth? And the economy and the governments. Didn't the United States give out surplus money, stimulus money? Why? What was the real reason? Was it to help you and me? That was the lie. Okay, maybe part of it was true. But you want to know the real deal? It's because the corporations and the lobbyists and the industries, the medical industry, every company you can imagine, big oil, whatever, they wanted your money. They wanted the American dollars in their pocket. They didn't want you to stay home and just be watching Netflix and getting DoorDash. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, you got your stimulus. That's why companies got money. Billion-dollar corporations even got some money or a lot of money. We, the people of the United States of America, and for that matter, any planet. I'm tired, but I'm not that tired. Any country. We have the power, ladies and gents. Our money is our real freedom. And even if you are one of the poorest people on the face of the earth, you still have more power than a president, a dictator, a king, or a queen. You have more power than them. Because collectively, you and me and millions or billions of us, and don't forget, America has over about 340 million Americans. And we have in China, between China and India, about 2 billion people. Imagine in America, for example, what if 150 million Americans suddenly dramatically stop putting out as much money? It would be as bad or worse than the COVID effect. Now, most of you might be like, this guy's on something. No, I'm not on anything. I'll share something with you. In America, if you pay attention to things like stocks and bonds and all that stuff, we are not called American citizens. Here's a news flash. We are treated like we're a corporation and not a country. For those of you who didn't know. Do you know what they call us? Consumers. Listen to any kind of news report on the economy. They're American consumer. They're American consumer. Americans are not spending. Think about those key words, guys and gals. They need us to spend. Thanks for the likes and thanks for all the visitors, whether you're still here or not. Y'all are fantastic and amazing. Tatai, I didn't know if I was going to wake you up. I was very tempted, extremely tempted to text you. So I need to have you put in the chat when you are asleep. If I send you a text, will it wake you or your family up? I should have asked you that before. I blew it. I forgot. I wasn't trying to be rude or anything. I would never do that. You're part of the family. But I didn't want to wake you up. I neglected to ask you that. Now, if you're in a situation where I could text you, it's not going to wake you up. Yeah, I will definitely let you know no matter what time I do it. Because I actually was almost going to text you. I said, well, let's see, what time is it? And I thought, well, I believe it is right now about 12:56 your time. I believe it's 12:56 a.m. I could be wrong. Or it might even be 11:56 p.m. Let me get back to this train of thought here, though. There's not a government on earth that could really even have a government without us spending money. But seriously, look it up. Do your research. We're really not called Americans. We're called consumers. Consumers. In fact, there are some people, now I don't know about this, but there are people out there that say that we are not even really citizens, that there's even people that say our birth certificates are worth money. And that's why we have a birth certificate and a social security number. Apparently, a lot of people out there believe that it's worth money. And you know, the more I think about it, I'm not going to say I think they're right. But what I do know is that we are not called citizens for the most part. We're called consumers. Now, yes, you do hear my fellow Americans. You do hear us called Americans. But here's the deal with that. When they talk about our economy, and when they get economic reports, what do you always see? The American consumer or the jobs report. And jobs affect the stock market. Now, I don't remember if the stock market and corporations favor more jobs or not. The politicians talk about more jobs, but I really haven't been paying attention to this, but seems to me that sometimes the stocks go down when more people are employed. Go figure, right? The other thing is, my fellow Americans, get the book, The Automatic Millionaire, or watch it, because David Bach explains that you literally can be at almost any financial situation and still eventually earn money and become a millionaire by just putting little bits of money away. And I want to remind all of you that now there are apps out there where you can literally invest pennies. Now, I myself have made an attempt at this. Unfortunately, I've been having a hard time getting into the app, but I invested a wee bit of money. It was less than $80, but here's what I'll tell you. Before I was having a problem getting in, I put in about $80. And at one point, and I had this in less than like a year, I was actually shocked, because at one point, my investments made close to $20. Now, conversely, I was in a situation where, because of the answer diagnosis, it rhymes with the word answer. I don't want to say it. I had an answer diagnosis. Well, I ended up with a wee bit of money, and I mean very low. But I noticed when I put it into my financial institution and I looked at the interest they paid me compared to what I received from this app that I had invested a very small amount. It was shocking to me. The financial institution gave me a grand total of 30 cents. 30 little old cents. I looked at that. I said, that should be a crime. But it's not, because our Democrats and Republicans and independents let the banking companies get away with it. And all these other people. 30 cents. That's what I got. Whereas I had earned, I think it was about 6 months or less, something like $20 with this other company. So yes, you can earn income. Now, you get that book if you want to get ahead. But I'm not just going to talk about politics or money. I'm going to throw something else out there. Your health is your wealth. So I'd like to know from some of you that were here, I should say. Thanks for staying in here, Todd. And I hate saying it like that. Tatai, I hope I got it right. But our health is more important. But our income, of course, affects how healthy we are, because we need the income to stay healthy. So, I'm interested in what's on your mind, but I want to have a little bit of fun. I'm going to try to, before I go, I'm going to make the attempt to get Coco Courageous on here again and try to get him to say something. Here, Coco. He's a wee bit mad. Look at him. Be quiet. Yeah, right. You aren't gonna hurt your dad. Yeah, Say hi to the people. Quit being a grouch. Okay. Yeah. Let me look at this, okay? All right, man. Good night. I'm just gonna say TS. Hope you don't mind. You get some rest. But I'd like some topics for future lives that you and others would actually like to talk about. But remember, Tatai, I think I got it right. Check out that book. I think you'd really like it. I know I did. Everybody listen. I'm going to be doing my lives again. And I'm going to have my lighting set again. But I just kind of wanted to get something in here. One thing you do need to know, it's about 2:04 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in my time zone. That's why I'm resting over here. But God willing, we'll be able to have more participation, and I'll finally be able to read the chats, because I don't like not answering you. That's not what this is about. Trust me, it's not. I love all of you. Y'all have a good night. Thanks for coming in. Now, hopefully, I will be able to answer some of these questions for the next time. God bless you and good night.